Greetings, everyone. It is I, of course, your one and only multi-potentialite, neurodivergent host,
the Kosmic Jedi. Welcome back to my channel.
I actually want to readdress again in this video, if I didn't already in my previous video, thank you for 1K subscribers.
It's here and I like it.
I remember the first time I did my video for my first 300 subscribers, and now that I'm at 1K, it's still shocking.
He ain't lying.
You know when you're like close to the number, and then you're like, okay, I'm so close, like 999, and where's that one subscriber? Then it goes up to 1K, and then maybe 1 or 2 people unsubscribe.
What?
It's such a strange feeling. I don't even know how to address it. I might do a separate video for it, but I'm still making sure I say thank you. Thank you to the newcomers. Thank you to the OG people who've stuck around this far.
Nice.
I appreciate your viewership, your time, and most importantly, your attention.
Get this man a shield.
Even if we have differences in opinions, differences in ideas, as long as we're not intending to harm each other or insult each other, again, I thank you for 1K subscribers.
You don't understand.
So moving right along, I think we're in the second week or third week right now. Are we in the second week or third week of the James Gunn, the Superman release?
Come on, don't bullshit me.
There's a video I made where I referenced that Fantastic Four, I feel, will do much better than James Gunn's Superman.
What?
I don't even care if I'm wrong.
Willingly?
Yes.
I don't care if the box office shows different.
Yes.
I'm going two ways. I feel the box office for Fantastic Four will do better than Superman on release and long term.
Yeah.
I feel the Fantastic Four movie will be better than this James Gunn Superman for my movie-going experience. I'm not trying to say anyone who goes to see the movies, it's a magic spell I've created. Whether you like the Superman movie or not, the Fantastic Four will be better than. No, it's not a spell, or I'm not telling you you will enjoy the Fantastic Four movie better than the Superman movie. No. And after seeing Superman, boy,
Damn, son.
I don't even think the Fantastic Four movie has to do too much just to be better than the Superman movie for my movie-going experience. I don't think it has to do too much. I've seen reviews, and the people who have reviewed the Fantastic Four movie, they're saying particular things that is trying to keep it as an okay superhero movie after Superman.
What?
These are the same people who are defending the nonsensity and stupidity and the level of incompetency in the Superman movie. So I'm paying attention. I'm like, oh, hold on a minute. This Superman movie has a lot of problems.
Damn.
So you can't throw away the problems by saying goofy sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's silly sometimes. No. Rubbish is rubbish.
He ain't lying.
You can't put a dog poop in front of someone's face and say, oh, if you look at this from this angle, it's like chocolate. No. Rubbish is rubbish. What you're holding like this came out from your dog's bum. So don't try to use English and say, the movie can be silly at times. The second act had a little silliness. Hey, rubbish is rubbish.
Daddy, chill.
When there's problem. Talk through. Don't be lying to yourself here. So those people are paying attention to them.
Aha.
I'm like, nah, I heard what you said about Superman. After I saw that movie, you a liar.
Damn.
When certain channels or certain people who are on certain channels on YouTube start reviewing movies and are not as flatline as possible with a level of truth and honesty and start using buzzwords and say sometimes it can be silly.
What?
You could say Thor Ragnarok had some level of silliness, but it's still a good movie.
Yes.
I've not heard anyone say, use the word silly or, what's the other word again? Goofy, silly or goofy for Captain America Winter Soldier. I've not heard those two words used to describe some parts of the movie.
Yes.
Every time we talk about what are your best movies of the MCU phase, what yada, people always, outside of other movies, they always throw that movie on their list.
Mm-hmm.
Captain America Winter Soldier.
You don't understand.
So therefore, we can all collectively agree to an extent, DC lover or not, Marvel lover or not, comic book fan lover or not, that was a good movie.
That's right.
It's not without its flaws, but that was a good movie. So I'm very, very mindful of all these people on YouTube channels that say a particular thing about the particular movies. I'm like, yeah, I peeped your game now. I don't peep your game. So when I saw the reviews today from those specific channels about Fantastic Four, I'm like, yeah, cool. I'll go to the other ones I trust much better than you. One of them said it's good, but not as good as Superman. As soon as I heard that, I was like, rubbish is rubbish. As soon as I heard that, I said, Thank you for letting me know, idiot. You are a liar.
Damn.
You are a liar.
That's just not my problem.
Why are you a liar? No. Why are you a liar?
That boy is good.
Now, again, I'm not fighting someone's opinion or feelings about a particular movie.
That's right.
I just wouldn't take it for gospel to say that the Fantastic Four is an okay movie, but the James Gunn Superman is a better movie. No, sirree, Bob. I'm hoping Fantastic Four annihilates this movie at the box office.
Let me hear, yeah.
Even if it doesn't do well enough, but it's okay, and their okay is better than the Superman experience that I had, I'm happy with that. But a bonus would be that it destroys them at the box office. I'll be so satisfied.
I ain't scared of you, mother.
And I've never been someone who's been looking for a movie to do well at the box office versus another movie. Never.
He ain't lying.
Even when I see the breakdowns from like Dan Morrill and other channels, I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'll watch half of it. After a while, I'm like, what am I even watching this breakdown of finances for? It doesn't do anything for me. As long as I can go and see the movie again and again, then I'm cool with it.
Willingly.
Yes.
But if there was a rule where cinemas would say, we only leave this movie long enough in the cinema as long as the box office weekend take is really high, that's when I'll be interested, because I might want to take my son to the cinema to watch a movie the second time.
That's right.
My friends, my family members, my cousins, whatever it is, or maybe a neighbor could be like, yo, I've heard this movie was good. Do you mind seeing it with me? I'd be like, sure, why not? Especially if the movie is good, I get to see it again and again with different people. Why? That's the whole point of it.
Are you not entertained?
Seeing it with different people who have different expectations and different tastes and different ways of enjoying a movie. Why the hell? It's such a massive win-win for everyone, especially for those of us who love the movie because it's a good movie, intelligent movie, and a well-written movie. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Woo!
So I've never ever focused on box office intake of the first weekend of the first month until now.
You don't understand.
I watched the original, not the original, the one with both fantastic movies with what's his name again?
A few moments later.
Chris Evans. I watched those two recently and I enjoyed it.
What?
In fact, they did very, very well in the first movie. The second movie,
Damn, son.
but they did very, very, very well, in my opinion. Especially with limited tech, limited this, limited that. They did a great job for that time period.
He ain't lying.
I always say you can always give a simple level rating of a movie if you can watch it again and not skip forward. If you can skip back because of how cool a scene was, it's a bonus.
Woo!
But if you're trying to get past a scene or some scenes, it's okay too, because at least you can just about skip those scenes and let the rest play out. But after you watch a movie once and you cannot sit down through beginning, middle, and end again, I'm not saying it's an overall bad movie. I'm just saying that's how I rate my things. I can give it 5 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 10. But if I cannot watch it again and again and again, however many times I want to watch it, then there's something off it. I will not buy this Superman nonsense movie on Blu-ray, 4K, 8K, 10K, God K, Omega K, Thor K. You must be crazy.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
Sinners, however, oh yes, please.
Willingly.
Yes, please.
Nice.
If you release it on Twin K, Triplets K, or Quadruplet K, I will buy. Yes, please. That is a beautiful, beautiful movie, despite its flaws.
Message.
I can call out flaws as long as your movie is comprehensive from beginning, middle to end.
I like this one.
With the imminent release of the Fantastic Four movie, I'm like, fingers crossed, y'all better whoop this dude's ass.
Daddy, chill.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Just go and read the comics. In fact, let me address that.
Here we go.
I'm now beginning to fully understand those particular types of people.
What do you mean by that?
Not all comic book lovers and readers and fans, but those specific kinds of people who tell you it's comic book accurate. So that means, I don't know why it took me a while to get this, but so that means it's drawing from the goofiness of the comics and the silliness of the comics, or the specific run of comics said director is pulling from. But just because something is goofy and silly in a particular run doesn't mean you can't transform it and leave those particular parts out of said comics when you translate it to the screen.
Check, please.
My introduction to the DC universe in terms of the wider scheme of things when it comes to the lore, how certain characters react to certain people and so on and so forth, is the animated universe. Yes, I saw what's his name again? Christopher Reeve Superman first before the cartoon. Yes, I saw Michael Keaton's. In fact, I actually saw hold on a minute. Which one did I see first? That's a very good question. I'm asking myself right now internally.
A few moments later.
I could be wrong, but I think I remember seeing Michael Keaton's Batman first before Adam West's Batman. I think so. Then when I saw Adam West's Batman, I thought, okay, this is Batman on screen, but it's not the same actor. Then after I realized the goofiness and whatnot, it's cool, but I still appreciate Michael Keaton's Batman.
Nice.
Those are the three only things I remember being at the forefront of my mind in terms of Superman and Batman. Maybe one or two comic books here, but then even as a child, I wasn't into comics in terms of each run and each release. And no. I'd flip through pages, of course, but I was not a comic book hardcore fan. Doesn't mean I hated them or disliked them. I just wasn't into them. So fast forward to The Adventures of Superman, the animated series. I watched a few episodes and I can't remember what age I was exactly then. I wasn't really into it in terms of I wasn't following it episodically. So every episode that dropped, I was in tune and I knew this is episode 1, episode 2, 3, 4. And the way it was released, I do not remember it being a chronological thing. Nor do I remember watching the first episode of the entire series and then episode 2 and 3, 4. So I would see different episodes and I would not know which chronological order they fit in. Then I remember I started watching the Batman animated series. That one felt more episodic and I feel the way it was released happened to synchronize. Let's say I started watching it from episode 10, for example. That one I just about followed. And this is all this I'm talking about is all the way in Nigeria still. I know for sure the only thing I remember watching DC-wise, animated of course, in chronological order was Justice League, and that's when I was in university. Myself and my son's mother used to love watching that together. That was like that when people come home to watch Bill Cosby, for example, or Different Strokes, or It's a Different World, or for those in the UK, EastEnders. That was my son's mother and I, our thing to just sit down and watch Justice League, and we watch it in chronological order when it was released. A beautiful experience.
Get this man shit.
My people. That is something I will rewatch again, and I've recently rewatched it. I think I finished watching it No, my bad. I didn't even finish watching all the way to the end of the whole run in terms of Justice League Unlimited. I finished Justice League that first run just about, and I'm looking to start it again and properly watch it from beginning to end with my son.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
And then we can discuss allegories and whatnot of each episode or particular specific episodes that have particular messages and whatnot. And it's something I want to do with my son a lot. We started with the early phases of the Marvel movies, but that's neither here nor there. Then the Superman animated adventure series, that one I rewatched from beginning to end in chronological order, obviously. And I watched that, I think, March, April. That was a beautiful experience. And within that series is when I started to say, this is how you can pull from your own visual archive and make an intelligent, competent movie.
Well, duh.
So when people say it's comic book accurate, I don't pay attention to those things because I didn't read the comics. Especially if you're talking about certain comics that have goofiness, over the top goofiness and over the top silliness. I'm thankful that I wasn't knee deep into those comics, because that means I'd have ended up like some of these people and won't be able to comprehend. Wouldn't be able to intelligently say something is off with this movie, or a lot of things are off with this movie.
I ain't scared of you, motherfucker.
I'm thankful that whatever experience I had, the universe help me dodge the bullet. I'm not saying comic book readers are El Pollo Loco or whatever. I'm just saying there's a specific kind of people who worship a specific type of comic book run or runs, whatever word you want to use, and it's sacrilege to be honest and say just because it's in the comics doesn't mean it should translate over to live action. It seems to be a hidden yet obvious cosmic storytelling law. There's some things that are better left alone in the comics. I just gave this long backstory as to how or where I came from in terms of the DC universe. I came from the animated section. From there, that's my mental archive of why didn't they just, adapt this story or this episode? So when people say, well, it's not comic, no, well, I don't care whether it's comic book accurate or not, because there's some silly things and things that don't make sense in the comics that sometimes the people who translate the text and still images from comics into cartoons, they choose to leave certain things behind and say, we want to do it like this in the cartoons. So the cartoons then become a specific kind of canon for certain DC character fans. So they didn't start with the comics. Again, they might be like me who flipped through the pages for sure, but they didn't worship or start with the comics to the cartoons, then live action. And there's nothing wrong or right about that. There are people who are knee deep into Harry Potter books. When they saw the movie, that's not my Harry, that's not my Malfoy, that's not my this, that's not my that. There's nothing wrong or right, because how they visualize it in their head based on the text, for them it's fixed. The funny thing is, you will not find let me not say it as if I'm a deity. You might find a group of 5 Harry Potter fans who really, really love the book, and who each have had the exact same image in their head based on the text. And when they describe it on paper or when they draw it, those 5 people look at the sketch and go, yeah, that's how I saw Hermione in my head. That's how I saw Harry in my head. Now, doesn't mean all the people who love the books but have issues with certain appearances or actions of certain characters on screen, doesn't mean all those people had the exact same image due to the text. Now, text, can influence imagination only to an extent. You, the person who, it depends on your creativity or the power of your imagination, you yourself will be the one who is the final say on how someone sounds when he or she is talking due to the dialogue you're reading from the book of this particular character.